You don't need a cosmic billboard to change your career. But what if 333 is a helpful one? Most people treat repeating numbers like fate. I'll show you a better way. Turn 333 into a practical system to choose the right projects, unlock collaborations, and build daily rituals that compound. In the next minutes, you'll map a 3-part strategy: projects, people, practice, and leave with a 30-day plan. Ready to swap superstition for momentum? If you've been seeing 333 on clocks, receipts, or license plates, here's the twist. It doesn't have to predict your future. It can organize your next move. Instead of asking, "What is the universe telling me?" try, "What will I do?" 3 times with 3 allies for 3 focused windows. That shift from omen to operating system changes everything. Quick 40-second practice. Grab your notes. Write 3 columns: projects, people, practice. Under projects, list your top 3 ideas or tasks competing for attention. Under people, note 3 names who could amplify your work mentors, peers, or prospects. Under practice, write 3 daily or weekly rituals that would make the rest easier. Done? You've just built your 333 dashboard. Why 3? A tripod stands where a stick wobbles. 1 project is risky. 5 scatter you. 3 gives you enough surface area to learn fast without diluting your focus. Triple stacking 3 bets, 3 relationships, 3 rituals creates redundancy against bad luck and keeps momentum when one leg falters. Think of 333 as your creative tripod. But wait, doesn't all this still sound mystical? Here's the grounded version. 333 is simply a repeat cue. Your brain notices patterns. We use that to trigger action. Every time you see 333, you run a microcheck. Which project am I shipping next? Who am I updating or inviting? What practice am I protecting today? If the answer isn't obvious within 10 seconds, your plan is too vague. Let's define the framework. First leg, projects. These are your near-term bets. You can move in 6 weeks or less. A presentation that lands a promotion, a portfolio refresh, a feature prototype. Second leg, people. 3 relationships you'll invest in this month: clear, mutual, specific. Third leg, practice. The cadence that makes the first 2 legs non-negotiable. Deep work blocks, outreach reps, review rituals. A common trap is magical timing, waiting for the perfect alignment before you act. 333 can become a procrastination costume. Flip it. Treat 333 as a start gun, not a green light from the heavens. When it pops up, you execute a pre-decided micro-action. Send 1 email, cut 1 paragraph, log 1 practice set. Small moves beat big meanings. Another trap. All signal, no system. People screenshot 333, but never change their calendar. Your calendar is your compass. If projects, people, and practice don't have scheduled blocks this week, you don't have. At Framework, you have a wish. Open your calendar and carve 3 recurring windows. Build, connect, train. Label them. Protect them. Let 333 be the reminder, not the plan. Here's a micro-commitment to lock it in. Comment a single word you'll use as your anchor this month. Align, ship, or invite. Saying it out loud makes it real, and I'll share prompts in the next chapters to help you use it. Before we move on, preview where we're headed. In the next chapter, we'll turn the project's leg into a repeatable method. A 3-sprint test with clear outcomes you can show to a boss, a client, or your future self. Because seeing 333 should reduce decision fatigue, not add to it. Ready to put your ideas on rails? It's 3:33 p.m. You glance at the clock and feel that familiar nudge. Not fate focus. You open a fresh page and write the name of the idea that won't leave you alone. Today, 333 becomes your filter. You give the idea a promise. 3 short sprints, 2 weeks each, 6 weeks total. If you're real, you tell it, you'll survive this. You're not waiting for magic. You're building momentum on a schedule. Before anything else, you sketch a quick 1-page brief. 3. Simple sentences. Who hurts? Where it hurts? Why now? 3 constraints. Time you truly have, energy you can spend. The lowest quality you'll accept without feeling embarrassed. 3 success signals. The proof that would make you nod and say, "Yep, this is working." No poetry, just clarity. If you can't write it cleanly, you're not ready to start, and you know it. You block the first 2 weeks and label them Sprint 1. Proof of possibility. The rule is gentle, but firm. Every sprint ends with something someone can touch. A thin slice, a hallway demo, a 1-page deck. You pick the smallest version that could make a real person react. If it wants 10 hours, you cut it to 5. If it wants 5, you cut it to 2. Then you ship to one person who matters. Your manager, a client, a peer who will tell you the truth. Week 3 arrives faster than you expect. You're in Sprint 2, proof of value. You keep the parts that got a reaction and drop everything else, even the pieces you loved. You send it to 3 people outside your bubble and ask one question that invites honesty. What almost made this useful? You collect verbs, not compliments clicked, stalled, confused, helped. You feel the shape of the work getting sharper. I. Week 5. You're ready for Sprint 3. Proof of repeatability. You turn the messy steps into a short checklist, a simple template, a 2-minute screen recording. Could someone repeat your outcome if you disappeared next week? If not, you simplify. Until they can. That's when an idea turns into a career asset, when it doesn't rely on your best day to work. You set a destination for the 6-week mark. By the end, you'll hold 3 things in your hands. First, a visible artifact deck, a demo, a pilot, a case study. Second, a number that moved conversion up a little, response time down a little, 3 warm intros landed. Third, a story you can tell in 30 seconds. What changed? For whom? With proof. No artifact, no change, no story. Then it wasn't a project. It was a wish, and wishes don't need more time. They need shape or a shelf. Choosing what to run is easier now. You score your top ideas with a quick triple fit impact, evidence, energy 0 to 3 each. Who benefits and how much? What signs suggest demand? Does this give you fuel or drain it? 7s, 8s, 9s go first. 4s, 5s, 6s wait their turn. The rest you archive without guilt. Focus isn't saying no to the world. It's saying yes to momentum. You keep the scope honest with a simple rhythm. Start with 3 features. Commit to 1 must-have. Park 1 wow later. When perfection whispers that 1 more tweak will save everything, you smile and set a 3-strike rule. Miss 3 ship dates, and the scope shrinks by half. Shipping beats polishing. Always dot the shape works across paths. If you're a designer going for a promotion, Sprint 1 might be a single portfolio page with a crisp before, after. Metric. Sprint 2 adds a 30-second walkthrough and 2 outside reviews. Sprint 3 turns the process into a template and a tiny internal workshop. Artifact, delta, story. If you're a marketing lead, Sprint 1 is an outline, 1 confirmed guest, and a date. On the calendar, Sprint 2 runs a pilot for 20 people and tracks what matters. Sprint 3 packages a repeatable kit and runs it with 2 new partners. Now it's not an event. It's a system. If you're an engineer, Sprint 1 instruments the slowest endpoint and ships a 3 KPI dashboard. Sprint 2 makes one change that actually reduces pain and shows before, after. Sprint 3 writes the runbook and adds a canary. Uptime, but make it 333 dot. You also protect against stalls. In your back pocket, sit 3 laterals, 3 small adjacent bets you can try if. Sprint 2 flatlines. A different distribution channel, a simpler user segment, the same asset repackaged as a thread or short. Lateral isn't a pivot. It's breathing. Room. The calendar becomes your ally. You add 3 build blocks each week, 90 minutes. Phone down, door closed. Mondays get a 15-minute plan. Fridays get a 10-minute retro with the same 3 questions. What shipped? What moved? What repeats? At 3:33, whenever it finds you, you ask, what's the smallest slice I can ship before today ends? Then you do it. No drama. Just proof. Right now, give the idea 1 line. Project name, 1 must-have outcome. Next tiniest ship. If it doesn't fit in a single sentence, it's still too big. Trim until it breathes. If this story feels like a path you can walk, come along this channel, turn symbols into systems, week after week. In the next chapter, we'll open the room. 3 allies, 3 mentors, 3 prospects, a 3-3 relationship flywheel that multiplies everything you've just built. Ready to invite momentum in? It's 3:33 again. This time, it doesn't point to your to-do list. It points to a door. You imagine opening it and seeing 9 chairs in a simple room. 3 for peers, 3 for mentors, 3 for prospects or partners. That's your 3-3 room. When 333 shows up, it's the doorbell. You step in, you talk to someone, you move something forward. First, the 3 peers. These are people at your level who want momentum as much as you do. You set a tiny ritual together, a 15-minute huddle every week, or a 3-bullet check-in. By voice note. The script is always the same and always short. Shipped, next, stuck. You don't perform. You report. One of you ships a deck, 1 fixes a bug, 1 drafts a pitch. You trade quick feedback, not life stories. In this room, progress is the language. Then the 3 mentors. Not idols. Humans a few steps ahead who remember what it felt like to be where you are. You don't ask for coffee and a life plan. You send 1 useful update and 1 precise question. 3 sentences, tops. Context. I'm testing a 6-week sprint on X for Y audience. Proof. Last week I shipped A. Result so far is B. Question. What would you cut next, feature C or D? Sometimes you ask nothing, just a clean update and a thank you. You keep the ratio generous. 3 gives for every 1 ask. Give can be a sharp summary of a book they recommended, a small bug report on their site, or a note on how their advice played out. Mentors invest in people who convert guidance into action. Finally, the 3 prospects or partners, the people who could hire you, buy from you, sponsor you, or co-create with you. You don't chase everyone. You choose 3 names where your work clearly fits their goals. Your message is a 3-line bridge. Relevance. Saw you're pushing X this quarter, my sprint aligns with that. Evidence. Here's a 90-second loom case with before, after. Soft next step. Would a 15-min look next Tuesday help? Or is a sync feedback better? No pressure. 2 options. Clear exit. You respect their time and show you respect your own. You run the room on a simple weekly cadence. Monday peers. Send shipped, next stuck. Offer 1 tiny help, a template, a quick review, a share to 1 person. Wednesday, mentors. 1 proof update. Ask a single either or question if you truly need it. Friday, prospects partners. 1 3-line bridge note with a link to proof. Is what keeps the flywheel spinning. Proof is small, visual, and real. a screenshot with a metric, a 90-second demo, a one-page run of show. If it can't be seen quickly, it won't be remembered. You learn to package your work like a postcard. Brief, beautiful, unmistakably useful. There are traps, and you sidestep them. The first is performance networking, acting big and saying little. You replace shiny words with clear receipts. They. Second is the vague ask. Let me know if I can help. You swap it for 3 concrete offers. I can review 1 page, intro you to 1 person, or share 1 template. What's better? The third is the endless follow-up spiral. You set a 3-touch rule. Initial message, a nudge a week later, a final close the loop. No worries if not parking this for now. Then you move. Scarcity builds respect. Stories make it real. You're a designer eyeing a promotion. Your peers form a triad. Every Monday you trade a single slide of progress. Your mentor 2 levels up answers, 1 crisp either or each month. Your 3 prospects are hiring managers at teams you admire. They see your 30-second walkthrough and invite you to guest on a design critique. By week 6, you're not networking. You're visible, or you're a marketer. Your peers are a content lead and a lifecycle PM. You pass each other outlines and subject lines. A mentor in partnerships replies to your tidy results. 20 signups, 6 qualified. Your 3 prospects are partner managers at companies with the same ICP. Your bridge message lands, and 1 says yes to a pilot. The room did the work, or you're an engineer. Your peers are reliability-minded teammates. Friday you share a tiny Grafana screenshot with 1 improved KPI. A mentor in SRE sends a 2-line tip after your focused question. A platform PM, prospect, gets your canary write-up and asks for a quick sync. Proof travels. You measure lightly, with a 3-point check each week for each chair. Seen 1, helped. 2, advanced. 3. Seen means they noticed your proof. Helped means they replied or used it. Advanced means the next step is scheduled or an outcome happened. If your total advanced count is under 3 for the week, you change your approach next week. Sharper proof, clearer asks, better fit. When 333 shows up tomorrow, you don't overthink it. You open the room, pick 1 chair, and send 1. Message, 3 minutes, 3 lines, 1 clear next step. Then back to building. Micro practice, 40s. Write 9 names, 3 peers, 3 mentors, 3 prospects. Next to each, write the next tiniest proof you can share. Screenshot, stat, 60 to 90s Lou. Send 1 message now. Yes now. Next. We'll lock your daily rhythm so this doesn't rely on bursts of willpower. A 3-3-0-3 cadence that turns focus into habit. Ready to make momentum routine? Morning. The light is soft and the world hasn't asked for you yet. You catch the time 3:33 on the coffee machine or the stove or your phone. Today, 333 isn't a sign to ponder. It's a switch you flip. 3:33. 3 minutes to aim. You sit, feet on the floor, and write 1 line. Today I train underscore so that underscore, not poetry purpose. Today I train storytelling so my demo lands. Today I train SQL so I can answer my own questions. Today I train breath and posture so my voice doesn't tire. You add a tiny checklist. Start file, 1 example, save proof. 3 minutes, you're pointed. Then 30 minutes to go deep. Headphones on. 1 tab, 1 tool, 1 drill. This is not general work. This is practice reps that raise the floor. You pick a keystone skill that makes other parts easier. For a designer, a clean grid and type rhythm. For an engineer, a tight function with tests and logs. For a marketer, a crisp hook plus 2 proof points. For a manager, a 1-page decision memo that someone can act on. You set a timer with a gentle sound and promise yourself, no perfect, just proof. Finally, 3 small touches to keep momentum moving. Touch 1 is outward send a tiny artifact to a peer, mentor, or prospect. A screenshot, a 60 to 90s loom, a 1-paragraph summary. Touch 2 is inward log 1 lesson you want future you to remember. Cut the intro. Lead with the before, after. Touch 3 is environmental tweak your setup so tomorrow is easier. A pre-labeled file, a highlighted section, a template open on line 1. That's the 3303 cadence. It looks simple because it is. The power is in the repeat. You protect the 30 like you would a meeting with your future boss. You make it hard to drift. Phone in another room, full screen mode, a small sticky note with the exact rep you're doing. You don't work on portfolio. You rewrite 1 case intro to show the metric in the first sentence. You don't study data. You query this table, can chart 1 outlier. Narrow beats noble. On low energy days, you run the minimum viable version. 3103, 3 minutes to aim. 10 to practice, 3 to touch. Tiny is not failing. Tiny is how the chain survives storms. Missed 2 days? You run a rescue rep. Open the file, add 3 lines, save a time-stamped screenshot. Done. Momentum forgiven. Momentum restored.u. Mark the end of practice with a small ritual so your brain knows it shipped. Save the file with today's date. Paste your best 2 to 3 lines into a wins note and drop 1 sentence to appear. Shipped. Tighten the opening. Metric is now first. The ritual is your applause. You don't wait for the world to clap dot to see the compound effect. You track lightly. 3 dials, all simple. Time. How many 30-minute blocks this week? Output. How many visible artifacts, slides, snippets, charts, pages? Signal. 1 quality. Cue someone replied, a metric nudged. A teammate reused your template. You don't grade yourself. You guide yourself. If the week is low on output, you made practice 2 abstract pick a drill with an obvious artifact. If signal is flat, aim. Your reps closer to a real user or a real deadline. If time is low, protect the calendar with a door. You can actually close literal or digital dot examples. Keep it tangible. Designer. Monday you trace 1 great layout to learn spacing. Tuesday you rewrite a case intro with a before-after stat in the first line. Wednesday you recreate a complex component in your own style. Each day ends with a screenshot and a 60 to 90s loom to appear. By Friday, you've got a before-after collage that speaks louder than adjectives. Engineer. Monday you write a tiny function with tests. Measure the perf. Tuesday you instrument a slow path and chart it. Wednesday you refactor a function into clearer steps with logs. Each day ends with a diff and a graph. By Friday, you have a mini runbook someone else can follow. Marketer. Monday you draft 5 headline hooks. Pick the best with a quick poll. Tuesday you craft 1 email with a single proof block. Wednesday you cut a 30-second cold open for a webinar. Each day ends with a screenshot or a short clip. By Friday, you've got a microkit ready to reuse. Manager. Monday you write a 1-page decision memo with options A, B, and a clear recommendation. Tuesday you prep a 1-to-1 with 3 sharp questions and 1 resource. Wednesday you design a repeatable retro 3 prompts, 15 minutes. Each day ends with a doc link and clear next steps. By Friday, your team knows what good looks like because you showed them dot to keep the broader system alive. You borrow a simple board, 3 rows, projects, people, practice, and 7 columns for the week. Each square gets a check when you do the minimum for that leg. Your goal is not perfection. Your goal is 15 of 21 checks most weeks. 2 rows strong and 1 light, still progress. The tripod wobbles and then steadies. You also set edges, so the day doesn't spill everywhere. A start edge, 1 song, 1 sip, 1 sentence, then timer. An end edge, 1 save, 1 share, 1 stretch, then done. Edges let you be present in your life after the work. Practice is a room you enter, and leave, not a fog you live in. What about days with chaos, kids sick, meetings stacked, life loud? You keep a pocket drill, 3 micro reps you can do in 5 minutes each from anywhere. Sketch a headline trio. Write a test for a tiny function. Outline a 1-to-1 in 3 bullets. Any micro rep counts if it moves a real thing forward, and leaves proof behind. At 3:33 later today, when the world taps your shoulder again, you won't look for meaning. You'll look for your next rep. 3 minutes to aim, 30 to practice, 3 to touch. Then back to living. Micro practice, 40s. Write tomorrow's 3303 on a sticky or note app. 3. Aim gives train underscore, so that underscore. 30. Drill gives exact artifact you'll make. 3. Touches gives who sees it, what you log, what you prep for tomorrow. If this cadence is landing, drop a 1-word comment you want to embody this month. Ritual works. And if you're new here, subscribe so these systems keep showing up right when you need them. Next up, we'll build the 333 decision matrix, so when a new opportunity shows up, you can score it in minutes and say a clean yes or no. Ready to make choices feel lighter? You're staring at an email that could change your month. New role, new client, new project. Your heart says jump. Your stomach says wait. The clock says 3:33. Perfect. Not a prophecy, a prompt. You grab a scrap of paper and draw. A tiny grid. Projects, people, practice. 3 rows. A box for a number next to each. Score before you leap. You whisper. First row. Projects. You ask 3 plain questions. Can I ship real proof in 6 weeks? Do I understand the smallest version of this? Could this become a repeatable asset, not a one-off? If the answers feel foggy, it's a low score. 0 means no shape. 1 means some shape, big risk. 2 means clear, doable. 3 means crisp and ready. You circle a 2, honest. Second row, people. You picture the 3x3 room from last chapter. Peers, mentors, prospects. Who will give fast feedback? Who's a step ahead to guide me? Who benefits enough to say yes? If you can name names, you're strong. If you're guessing, you're weak. You give it a 1. Ouch, but true, you haven't lined up the room yet. Third row, practice. You ask, does this build a core skill I actually want? Can it fit my 3303 cadence most days? Will it drain me or teach me? You feel a lift. This project would sharpen a skill you've been craving. You write a 3. You add the numbers. 2 + 1 + 3. 6/9, not bad, not great. Yellow light. You remember the rule you set for yourself. 7 to 9 gives go. 5 to 6 gives hold or recipe. 04 gives nitrogen monoxide for now. 6 means close. You don't rush. You tweak the shape. How do I move 1 box up by 1 point? You ask. People is the weak leg. You send 2 messages. 1 to a mentor, quick either or, cut A or B for first ship. 1 to a prospect, 90-second loom. Would Tuesday 15 MIN help, or is a sync feedback better? If either reply lands, people jumps to 2, your total hits 7, and you're clear to go. You run 2 quick stories to test the matrix. Story A, the shiny offer. A fast-growing startup wants you to lead a new initiative. Title glow. Equity whisper. Your gut does cartwheels. You score it anyway. Projects. The problem is exciting, but the scope is vague, no clear 6-week ship. You give it a 1. People. The hiring manager is sharp, but the team is stretched. Number mentor named, no cross-functional partner yet. You write a 1. Practice. You'd learn a lot under pressure, but it pulls you away from the skill you're compounding. This year, you write a 1. Total. 3/9. Red light. Your heart pouts. Your brain exhales. You say, no for now, with respect. This is a strong opportunity, but the scope and support are still forming. If a 6-week pilot with clear success signals opens up, I'd love to revisit. The door doesn't slam. It stays on the hinge. Story B. The quiet internal bet. Your manager mentions a nagging problem customers keep surfacing. Not sexy. Very. Real. Projects. You can see a 3-sprint path and a tiny artifact by week 2. 3. People. 2 peers will test it. A senior partner offers an hour, and 3 customers are ready to try. 3. Practice. It builds the exact skill you picked for the next quarter. 3 total. 9/9. Green light. You don't overthink it. You block 6 weeks and start tomorrow. You keep the matrix honest by naming the traps out loud. Trap 1. Confirmation bias. You score the thing you already want to do as if it's perfect. Fix. Argue the opposite for 60 seconds. If I were forced to say no, what would I say? Write the 3 strongest reasons. If they're flimsy, your yes is clean. If they're sharp, you recipe. Trap 2. Pareidolia. You treat 333 like a secret message that overrides reality. Fix. Treat 333 as a review bell, not an oracle. When it rings, you update the matrix with new proof. No proof, no upgrade. Trap 3. Sunk cost. You've already told people you'll do it, so you keep going. Fix. Run a premortem. In 6 weeks. This failed. Why? List 3 causes. Turn each into a preemptive move this week, or accept the no for now. You write yourself a simple go, hold, no checklist. Go, 7 to 9. Clear 6-week ship. Name humans. Skill growth. Calendar it today. Hold recipe 5 to 6. 1 week leg. Fix it in 48 hours or shrink the scope until it's a yes. No for now. 0 to 4. Think it. Shelve it. Capture the lesson. Replace it with a higher score bet. You also write 2 tiny scripts to use when the moment comes. Recipe. Script. Yellow light. I'm in if we can run a 6-week pilot with these. 3 success signals and a weekly 15-min sync. If that works, I can commit bigger. No for now script. Red light. This is promising, but the timeline support don't match my current focus. If X becomes true, clear 6-week scope, named partner, specific metric, I'd love to revisit. You smile. The matrix doesn't kill intuition. It channels it. It gives your courage a shape to live in. Then another email arrives. A friend invites you to co-create a tiny workshop. 2 sessions, small audience. You grab the grid again. Projects. Clear 2-week ship? Yes. A 1-page run of show and a pilot. 3. People. Your friend is a strong peer. A mentor offered to review, and a partner team might sponsor. 2. Practice. It trains your storytelling and facilitation on your list. 3. 8/9. Green. You reply, yes, 6-week window. 3 success signals. Weekly 15 min. Let's go. Evening. The day is closing. You catch 333 on a street sign or a receipt or the corner of your screen. No fireworks. Just a nudge. Review. You breathe out. This isn't about chasing signs anymore. It's about keeping your tripod steady. Projects. People practice without gripping too tight. You open a simple note titled 333 Review minus 15 minutes. Free blocks. 5 minutes each. First 5. Proof. You scroll what actually shipped this week. Artifacts, numbers, tiny demos. You ask 3 questions fast. What shipped? What moved? What repeats? You highlight one keeper, the move that clearly worked. You also mark one cut, the thing you'll stop doing, even if it felt comforting. Celebrate, then subtract. Lighter is faster. Second 5. Room. You picture the 3 chairs. Who was seen? Who was helped? Who advanced? You tally the score, not as judgment, but as direction. Low, advanced. You don't shame yourself. You sharpen next week's proof, or swap one prospect for a better fit. The room is alive. Chairs can change. Third 5. Cadence. You scan your 303. Did the floor hold? If time was thin, you move your 30-minute block to a time of day that actually survives life. If output lagged, you pick drills that end in visible artifacts. If signal was quiet, you aim your practice closer to a real user or deadline. You write one adjustment you'll try for 7 days. Experiments over emotions. You close the review by updating your tiny scoreboard. 3 dials, 1 glance. Time. How many deep 30s this week? Output. How many artifacts? Signal. How many replies, uses, metrics nudged? You're not a factory. You're a gardener. Some weeks sprout, some weeks compost. Both feed the soil. What about weeks with number 333 at all? No clock pings, no plate numbers, nothing. You smile. Silence isn't lack, silence is space. The system still hums. 3 build. Blocks, 1 15-minute room day, 1 15-minute review. Meaning comes from motion, not from frequency of signs. When 333 reappears, it will find you already moving. You sketch a 30-day path, so momentum becomes normal, not heroic. Days 1 to 7, stabilize, pick one project, and run sprint 1. Set the 3 build blocks on your calendar. Start 303 daily. Log proof in one place. Open the 3 room with 1 peer, 1 mentor, 1 prospect, just 1 each to start. Days 8 to 14, sharpen, ship the smallest slice. Ask 1, what almost made this useful? Question. Add the 2nd peer and mentor chair. Tweak your 30-minute. Slot to the time you actually protect. Run your first 333 review 15 minutes. Celebrate, cut, calendar. Days 15 to 21. Extend, enter sprint 2. Keep what got a reaction. Drop the rest. Fill all 9 chairs in the room. 3 peers, 3 mentors, 3 prospects. Package 1 tiny playbook, checklist, template, or script from your week. Days 22 to 30. Consolidate, ship proof of value. Host a mini retro with a peer triad 10 minutes. 3 prompts, shipped, stuck, next. Build a gallery of proof. 1. Page with your best before, after screenshots and a 90-second loom. Run your second 333 review. Choose 1 upgrade for month 2. Then you glance out to 90 days, 2 full 3 sprint cycles. You don't predict outcomes. You design assets. Quarter plan, 90 days. Projects, 2 passes through the 3 sprint test. End with at least 1. Repeatable asset, template, runbook, kit, and 1 public case. People, keep the 3 room, but rotate 1 chair per month to avoid stagnation. Host 1 tiny roundtable, 30 minutes, 3 people, to create serendipity on purpose. Practice. Pick 1 keystone skill for the quarter. Track 1 metric that proves the floor rose. Time to ship, bug rate, response rate. Watch time, whatever fits your path. You also give meaning a healthier home. When 333 appears, you treat it like a bookmark. Pause, review, realign. 3 breaths, not 3 wishes. You ask a better question. If this number is a reminder, what does it want me to remember? The answer is usually simple. Protect the 30, show the proof, invite the room. There will be messy, weak, sick kids, tough feedback, missed ships. You won't punish yourself with a clean slate fantasy. You'll run a rescue protocol. Minimum day, 3103. Minimum proof, a screenshot with one sentence. Minimum room, one chair, one message, one ask offering. Small moves keep the chain alive. Aliveness beats perfection. On a quiet Sunday night, you open your gallery of proof. Slides, snippets, charts, tiny wins. You see a pattern your work has a shape now. Not because the universe picked you, but because you picked a system and showed up. You write one closing line to carry into. Next quarter, I make momentum visible. Then you underline it twice. Micro practice, 60s. Schedule 2 repeating blocks, 333 room, WED 15-minute, and 333 review, Fry 15-minute. In your notes, add 3 headings: celebrate, cut/calendar. Under calendar, type next week's 3 build blocks, save, close, rest. If this series helped you turn symbols into systems, drop one word that names your next season. Steady works, and subscribe so these tools keep landing right when you need them. Next time, we'll put it all together in a compact recap you can share with your team or keep by your desk.